Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. The Merseyside derby. The pain is over. We can all relax now. We're joined by the newest member of the Everton Fans Forum, Jamie Yates. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Jamie. We expect free ale. Come on, we need like a list of demands we can give to him.
Crisp demands.
You know, crisp to just.
No, I think the big. We'll do a separate video on that after, but I think it's good when we've seen a little bit of evidence yesterday of that. But anyway,
yeah.
Back to
Happy.
I'm happy it's bleeding over for 6 or 7 months. Yeah, as I get older, I hate derbies more and more. And I think you know what it is. I think it's because we don't ever win. So, but all that being said, the last 4 Premier League derbies, we've lost one of them, and it was a fucking stupid, lucky, ridiculous bit of judgment goal. That's the only thing that's beat us in the last 4 league derbies. So
we've only lost one derby in 8 years at Goodison, apparently. The rest are all been draws. Something like that, anyway.
The Man one. In
that's the only one.
98
That's the only one we've lost at all.
Yeah.
We haven't won any, like, but, you know.
But you know what? I was happy that we buckled their title thing because we're rivals, so we put a dent in it. That's what exactly. And when we spoke to the Redmen lads last week, they were like, we'd be delighted if we took points off you and you were trying to win the league, and we'd be delighted to be trying to win the league, let's be honest. But they were, so I was happy with that. But I was more pleased for the manager, to be honest, that the players went out there and gave him everything. The crowd were incredible, and when you watched it like that yesterday, I thought it was. I said to you, Jay, before, I thought it was a proper derby yesterday as well. A good one, good honest game. But I think when everything comes together from an Everton perspective, the crowd were there and the players give that commitment. You felt good about your team, and even, you know what, even if we'd have lost it, it would have been devastated. But I'd have gone, they've shown us something there, and the fans were brilliant. And when that's merged together, it gives you like a little bit of, I think it gives you that little boost for going forward. That's my take anyway.
Yeah, no, that's what I felt. I was in the Gladys Street concourse doing a bit of work for Everton in the community for a couple of hours before the game, and it was absolutely packed from 45 minutes before kick-off. The young lads, the atmosphere group, I think the originals,
the 1878 originals.
They were in there, right in the middle, just creating havoc. Yeah. All the songs got going.
Good havoc.
Good havoc, not bad havoc.
Good havoc, happy havoc. People had their kids up on their shoulders, you know, singing, the flags waving. It was just it was a joy to behold, you know.
I mean, let's talk about the atmosphere first of all, because I think after
take this off.
Listen, let's be bad German footy balls again, Baz. But last week we experienced German football, and we seen what we need to do. And what's great is, you know, a week later, we sort of experienced something similar at Goodison Park, and it's good that you're here actually, because I think yesterday was a small triumph for people who get themselves organised, fans, talking to the fans forum and talking to the club, and that's what's got to happen in the future. Listen, it was a big game, we all know it's easy to get up for those big games, but you've seen it with what the manager said, you've seen it with what fans have said. You've
Morgan
seen
Schneiderlin done a message on Twitter. Luca Dean, Seamus Coleman, Michael Keane,
David Moyes was in the studio.
Jamie Carragher said it.
You know, they all said the atmosphere was amazing, and they said, you know, this is the first time the fans have been able to get up for a game. And I think that gives so much power to those lads and to the fans forum to go to the club and say, we need more from you. You'll get it from us if you give us more. And the things like the siren on the Z cars, just everyone, just like, gets everyone going. But there's loads of other things, like you just said, getting into the ground 45 minutes earlier than you normally would. We'll make that easier for people. Drop the prices of the ale, right? This is on you now. This is all on you, Jake. Get the prices of the ale, things like that, lowering the ground, so that people feel like they can go and get even things like, I go in the church for a cup of tea right before the game, because it's relaxed and it's cheaper.
It's not £3.
It's cheaper. It's water. with a tea bag in it, right?
And a dash of milk.
Yeah, and a dash of milk, or if you're having
I'll pay a bit more because I have more milk.
No, but the point being is, what I'm saying is, though, is if you get the people in the ground, you get them in the concourses. One of the players said, it was Pickford said, the fact that they were there before the game and you could feel the atmosphere. So this is something we experienced last week in Germany. People in the ground an hour before. Now I'm not expecting that, but if you get people in the ground early and you create the situation where an atmosphere,
the ambience.
So the atmosphere can grow. And let's be honest, right? We're all adults here. Alcohol is a brilliant fuel for atmosphere. It is, but we're all grown-ups. We're allowed to drink. So, mate, I just can't. It's so easy.
We were in, like we've just said, we were in Germany last week when we were at 2 separate games. So it wasn't just, we were at the Dortmund game, and Dortmund are going for the league. So obviously that was the bound to be up, although they were tense for that. But we were at Dusseldorf the night before, in mid-table, and we were in the ground 2 hours before the game, drinking, because it was like €3.50 or something, which is like cheaper than, a lot. They've got you somewhere. Make the ale cheaper. People were in, eating, and that atmosphere was building for a nothing game. So if you'd done that at Goodison, somehow, if it was more affordable, and people were like, you know what, let's just get in the ground and do our talking there, let's have a bevy there, let it build. You can feel that coming through. So I think there is an onus, not on you, Jay, but there is an onus on looking at pricing, I think.
I seen it. Sorry, Hugh, I'm going to let you joke. I just want to say something. I seen outside the ground, and don't want to take any business away from David at the Winslow, but I seen people outside singing, outside the Winslow, having a pint. It was pissing down, and they were singing. And the problem with that is that you've done that, and you get in the and it evaporates. But normally, by the time you get in the ground, because you just get in the ground, you might just run upstairs just in time for Z cars, and it's not there. If Everton can get the people in and say, well, come and have a bevy in here as well, come and have a drink in here, and get the atmosphere within the ground, and honestly, we'll all notice the difference.
But it is also things like having a tea and coffee in it, because I don't bevy.
I don't.
That. So, but I'll go in and stand and have a drink, and then if you've got like groups of people who are bouncing and ready, it gets you going. So you walk in going, everyone is up. The atmosphere, when that siren started yesterday, my little fella, season ticket holder, we come out the ground and he was like, I didn't realise the crowd could be so loud. That's what he said. He's a season ticket holder, because it's been that long since we made anywhere near that noise. And I just come out thinking, if we could recreate that for the last few games, because we've got big games. We're not playing Fulham at home. Right? We've got big games where the teams will bring away followings. If the lads at 1878 Originals can do more of that, and the club can embrace it. We saw last week the 2 clubs we were at, embracing their group of the 1870. They're called ultras, aren't they, everywhere else, right? So if it's Everton ultras or whatever it is, if the club could work with them a little bit, and this is on, I suppose, the fans forum to be the middle ground for the club on one side and then the other, it can really help. And who didn't walk out going, that was boss, the atmosphere was brilliant. It felt like you'd been to a proper game.
Absolutely. Like I said to you, Baz, like, I challenge anyone. I certainly didn't see anyone around me. The whole Gladys was stood up for the whole game. Obviously not allowed to do that, but they were. Well, no one was going to stop it. Now, if someone can tweet or get in touch or whatever and say they had someone sitting next to them, fingers in their ears, not being part of it, I challenge you, because I didn't see it. The thing with this season, as it was always going to be a season of transition, and it's another season that here we are in March, and it's a write-off already. So exactly like you say, I see this last run of are they all on Sunday, the remaining home games?
A lot of them are,
big game, against some of the big boys, United and Chelsea and stuff, and let's just use it as a trial for ourselves to see, can we keep this going? Because it doesn't. I mean, this season, the way I've seen it, this is my first season with a season ticket. I moved back to Liverpool in August after 38 years away. We moved away when I was a baby, and this is my first season ticket. So it's a big deal for me, and it's meant the world to me. Even however bad we've been, I don't care. I've said to people, I would happily sit an empty Goodison Park for 90 minutes once a week. I just love being there.
Well, it's been like an empty Goodison
Park. But it has felt like that.
Sometimes,
the match, we've all said it, the match has got in the way of you having a nice time with your mates a lot this season. So people do leave it later and later and later to like, oh, it's 5-3, run in, get that out of the way and get out. You haven't wanted to feel part of it, and this is where the club have to be proactive.
Yeah.
But as yesterday showed, we have to be proactive, and it maybe only takes a group of 100 people to start it. But then if everyone joins in, it's simple. It costs nothing.
That is spot on. It doesn't need every single person in the galaxy from the start or wherever other parts of the ground. It just needs a small pocket, and I'm glad people are getting this now. It's a small pocket of people to be organised, get themselves going. And it does help if they're all in the same place, and that's something that maybe we can move forward with as we go forward. But you've got to, you start from small acorns. You start and you build and you build and you build to the point where, the group that are out there, if they're fully responsible, which I don't know they are, I'm just surmising they are with the fans forum. Listen to what the manager said and listen to what the players said. Exactly. That gives them loads of power now.
Yeah.
That gives them loads of power.
And also the evidence of what you saw.
Yeah.
The evidence
on the pitch. That gives them the power to go. And it is on these lads now.
Yeah.
And I know I've been speaking to them today. We're gonna get them in on the show. It's on them now to keep that going. Yeah. But I think what they've got to say to everyone else is, well, we'll get it going, but you've got to respond to it. And we've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, and the last home game, which is always a noisy one, everyone, because everyone's always on the ale.
Yeah.
Burnley, I think that's about it, isn't it, for the home game? So every game can be a big atmosphere if they want it to be. All right, it mightn't have that little extra bit of
not
spice.
Like the edge of the derby, will it? But
go the game and enjoy yourselves, because I think everyone went yesterday and enjoyed themselves. Yeah. And like you said, anyone who's in the Gladys seat, listen. If you're in the Gladys Street, you should know what you're going to be. That's the way it should be. It's the Gladys Street. Yeah. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
That's why people moved out of the Gladys Street, because they didn't want to stand up all day. Go in the safe Bullens.
That's why I chose it. That's
why ask people who sat by me yesterday.
Well, there you go.
I was up. I was saying to you, my voice last night. I was up. Every decision, every refereeing decision, every time Salek miscontrolled or Fallison in goal kicked the ball straight out, or because I was up and ready. And what happened was, like we saw last week, right? When we were at Dortmund's the best atmosphere in Europe. That's what it's proclaimed as, and it is, right? But Dortmund is orchestrated atmosphere. They're brilliant at it, and they're great what they do. But for a lot of the game, it's just the ultras singing. But then it kicks up, and then occasionally everyone else joins in, which is exactly what happened yesterday. And the same thing, the noise when Pickford saved and Salah, and then Garner and Keane threw themselves in the way of Henderson's shot, was like Everton had scored. That's how the ground erupted, and the same with Michael Keane's tackle. It was like Everton had scored a goal. And when that noise is deafening, like it was, everyone gets that electricity and that energy.
Everyone, the players, the manager, everybody. You look at there've been little moments this season, little tiny moments that demonstrated. The first time I had my little girl Lena at the game was the Palace game, which 70 minutes of nothing. Pickford saves the penalty.
Yeah. The crowd,
which maybe shouldn't have been given away. The whole crowd went mad. Enid starts crying out, terrified. But then it lifts. It is proven. Look through history. Look at the Bayern Munich game. The best team in Europe versus the best team in Europe as we were becoming, and we battered them. It gives adrenaline. The Michael Keane of last year, it was maybe would have stumbled or not have had the guts to make, or given away a penalty and got sent off yesterday. He had that extra little bit of adrenaline to make it.
And you don't hear, and when the atmosphere's like that, you don't sit there and you don't hear all the rumbles. You've done this, you've done that. You just come on, and then it's infectious, because if the fella's sitting next to you screaming his head off, then you don't mind screaming your head off. So it's not just like, and we've heard all the stories of people saying, when I stand up and sing the person next to me. Well, if the person sitting down is the one who looks stupid because he's sitting down, then because everyone else is up. That's what we want. And I'm not interested, not asked about if everyone stands up and it's no against the rules, which we're trying to change the rules. We're trying to change it so we do have safe standing, and that's what most of the people want. And if you don't want it, you don't be in that area. And let's be honest, the whole thing wouldn't be anyway. But That's what you should expect when you go to the match, isn't it? That's what you should, and we've lost that through the way. And let's just keep it going. That's all we can say. Let's keep it going.
I just look at the last few games and I think yesterday, like I said before, made up for the manager. All right, but I'm also made up for Everton and for Evertonians that they've shown that manager, they've shown our manager what we can be like. And I think this is why I think there's a disconnect with some of the players with our place as well. When you think back to Tim Cahill and people like, and they're like, oh, the crowd are amazing, and Arteta, that night, the noise, have these players in recent times experienced anything like this? So where is that? Why would you be asked? Okay, you're a professional and you're getting a lot of money, right? But what draws you into a club is the support. That's what it should be. So you go, you know what? That's why Tim Howard's tweeting from America, come on boys. Because he did experience moments, right? And yesterday I was made up for the likes of Luca Dean and people like that to go, fuck me. This place, when it's rocking, it's unbelievable. And Marco Silva you could see what he was like. He was invigorated by the whole thing.
People said because he's been down,
he's probably thought, gee, fucking hell, this is what they talk about when they say Goodison can be electric, because it was.
And I heard a couple of people saying, can't do that in normal games, can't do that against this team, can't do that against this.
No.
Why can't we? We can if we want. We can if people create the circumstances, we can do that every game. Okay, it mightn't be sustained, mightn't be like that, but it mightn't be like that for the whole time, and it mightn't have that little bit of extra. But we can make it our thing. And I don't care what anyone says. You look at like what Palace do with their ultras, whether you think it's good or not. Listen, I'm not advocating we get some fella with a drum. I never want any drums. But why can't we make it our thing? Why can't we make it our thing? Why can't we make our thing that we all go to match and we're all looking forward to it? We go, oh, let's get in the ground early, lads. Let's get in there. Let's get it going. Let's enjoy, like you said before, enjoy going the match. And if that means that it starts with us and then it ends up on the pitch, and like Bazzi just brilliantly said there, make the players go, I want to fight for these lads. They start loving us, we start loving them, so you don't go, and we've said it loads of times, it's about humanising people. It's about finding that thing that you go, I love him. I mean, he might be a good footballer, but you know, and we've always loved those players. We have got good footballers, but somewhere down the line we've lost that connection because there's a lack of passion on both sides. You can't no fan can
We're just as guilty.
Exactly.
We are just as guilty.
And this crowd,
I'm not, obviously. I cheer every game and I'm wonderful, but but we are. We are. You have to be. You make your own luck. We talk about the team and we moan about they're not showing, they're not doing this, they're not doing exactly like you said. Some of those players have not seen what we are demanding. They don't understand because they haven't seen it. Yesterday they saw it. We're in it together. That's how I always say. You've got to be proactive. You've got to make your own luck. I think we've made our own bad
People love away
for years now. We started. A lot of our fans. I was saying this to you before. A lot of our fans I compare to the lads you knew at school who got bullied so much that if you tried to make friends with him, he wouldn't be friends with you because he didn't trust you, because he didn't want to make a fool out of himself. Some of our fans don't. I believe this. Some of our fans are scared to support our team the way they really want to. We all want that. We all want
too cool for school.
But it's also the fear of being. I think what you're saying is the fear of being let down. We've been hit that many times.
We've been let down enough times.
No, but that's it. So
what can be worse?
This is what I say about derbies. This is what I say about derbies. How worse can it be than getting beat at Anfield by Anfield last time, but at Wembley, it's the worst Liverpool team I've ever seen. Being 1-0 up, completely in control, and getting beat 2-1 by one of the fucking worst teams ever. I've always said since that I'll never feel that low.
We can't, all of these things are these moments. It can't be worse. So just do it. Win it together.
Liverpool have not scored more last-minute winners against anyone other than Everton's like the most team who scored injury time winners against them. The thing. So you'd have to just go. But for us as a fan base, you're right. Make it our thing. I don't care. You want to be connected with your club, so go to the game, make a noise, and you know what? We've tried sitting back and going, let's see what the team does. What was good about David Moyes' side? right? You knew they were going to give you everything most weeks, right? And they weren't the greatest team because he didn't have the money to make them the great. But we all had a connection with them, didn't we? You knew in the big games,
we helped make them a better team.
You'd go, you know what? Fancy us here. Maybe not away, but that's Goodison.
Moyes yesterday on the TV. We, because he feels part of it, because it's the only club he's been to where he feels part of the club because of what he's gone through. And that's the same with Kale, and that'll be the same with. I imagine all those players they will have gone to other clubs and they'll have had good experiences, but it is just all sort of part of the cycle. Whereas when they were at us, there was something a little bit different.
Why do you think? I mean, I hate to like bring them up, but why do you think loads of their ex-players are like so like they just love Liverpool because their fans do that kind of thing, and they've done all right with them, so that connection was formed. If you're a footballer at a club and you play, you take your money and you try your best, but if there's no connection there, and that's why when you see people like Kevin Campbell,
he felt that. Kevin Campbell's in the Winslow all night.
Exactly, but he feels that. He's an Arsenal lad, but he feels that still. You know, Ian Snow, you know, those kind of, they went through some stuff, and that's again going back to, you know, Duncan was a big Rangers fan, come down here, got that connection.
None of these are
all of a sudden, he's like, this is my club, and you know, when you can do it, and when we can play our part as fans, like we did yesterday, you walk out that ground and go, you know what, I give everything today for that team, and that team demonstrated back to me the appreciation. Exactly. You've seen our players, this celebrating a draw thing. Look at our players at the final whistle. They look disappointed.
No,
they look disappointed to me. They look like we could have beat them.
So then that spills onto the next game.
But
we're going to win this one, and they try harder. And so, you know, maybe the next game, where we're at Newcastle.
Newcastle the weekend,
the next home game, you know, we can beat. We're good enough to beat
Chelsea game has a little bit of spice because A, you know, they're not bad, and B, Ross will be there, so there's a little bit of needle. But show Ross Barkley what he's missing. Whether you like him or you don't, but show that.
You know? Make it about supporting the team and getting behind the team and drowning out people. You know, there were a couple of little moments yesterday where there was just a little lull, and you know,
I think we run out of songs.
And it's I think
we did. I think there was moments where we just run out of songs, and that's where, like, you know, if you go to away games, you hear loads of different songs, and that's where people have got to, like, it sounds
got to get the words out.
Get it going.
We all sit on our Twitter and get the words on there. Let's get bloody, you know, learn the songs, do it.
Just get the right people singing the song.
But you know, when you're saying like we can't, and this will be said, of course, but you say like we can't do it for all of the games. But in some of those other games, it might only need us to start it, and then the players might take over and go bang bang 2-0, and then the crowd are up again, and then there's lulls, but there's still those moments where it's loud.
I think you've got to make the ground like. So there's just, it's a weird thing to explain, but you know when there's just noise, like a weird ambient noise, it's just like it's not quiet. It's not quiet, but it's not people singing. There's just almost like the noise is just filtering round, and it's not. It's hard to put your finger on what it is at times. It's just a general excitement, a buzz, and I think that's what we've just got.
You heard Carragher yesterday on that clip that we put out, and he's exactly right. He said, you've got to make Goodison, and he's speaking from a fan and then be an opposition player playing for our bitterest rivals. You've got to come to Goodison and go, I hate that place, I hate it, it's horrible, the crowd are horrible, it's horrible. But too easy. There's been too many games this year where the opposition have just been allowed to stroll around the pitch doing what they want, and because we're not seeing what we want to see, we haven't got up for it, but if it's, and we know that, well that's it, the groans, but you know, yesterday a couple of times Garner gave a ball away and Salah went through, but everyone just went, come on, get it, you know, it wasn't, it was just like, let's press the reset button, go again, and I think that's why the players knew nobody was on the back yesterday, nobody, and it helped them grow. Now okay, we've got to get better players, because then if you mix that together, then it becomes dangerous to the opposition, because you've got A, a good side, and B, a great crowd. You know, we all know when Goodison's bouncing that there isn't anywhere better, and we know that. Got to get it bouncing more.
You know, I defy anyone to argue with the fact half that atmosphere that we had yesterday against Huddersfield, Newcastle, Watford,
West Ham, Watford.
We were you know, the West Ham game. That I was trying to remember. There was during the West Ham game, there was a moment where that game turned and they just ran away and won it. If we'd have just taken a chance or something, we would have gone in front. I can't remember what it was, but with the crowd behind them against teams and players who don't have the mental strength and the plus the footballing strength that a top player has, you flatten them. And that's easy 3 points on to the next one. You get the momentum.
I looked at some of their plays yesterday, and I thought at times they looked very nervous because of the whole thing. I thought second half, I thought Alex Anderson looked very.
Alexander-Arnold,
whatever his name is.
He kept smashing the ball out.
He looked very nervous
as it went on.
The kid on the other side, best left back in the world. He was
very far in.
He looked nervous at times as well, and there was just little moments. I mean, listen, class rises to the top, and you could see who their better players were. But it's just those little moments, and like you've just said, if you're playing against teams where you really are getting on top of them, they will just wilt, and then they start making those little mistakes. And I'd say like little things like this might sound stupid, but little things like if you've got someone gives them the ball and they've got maybe an easy option, they can't even hear. They can't hear the goalie shouting, and they smash it out for a throw or a corner, and that leads to you winning back possession. That could be the difference in some games.
That's how it works.
Little things like that are, quiet Goodison, goalie shouts, we can hear him, give it back, bam, start again. But if he's on edge because of the crowd and because mixed messages, Have you ever been in your house and you've put the radio on and you go, you think you've heard something behind you? Fucking hell, what was that? Because everything's too loud.
I think the thing as well is that the energy that the players feed off. When you've played footy and there's like a bit of a crack, the energy kicks you on. So if you've got 36,000, 37,000 Evertonians roaring you on, it's going to make you just get energy when you're feeling tired. It gives you that extra.
And you bounce out of the crowd after.
We better talk about
the game now.
I mean, manager made a couple of changes. He brought Zuma back, which is probably fair.
Jacks have done well, but the pace Liverpool have got.
2 games in a week after
and the 2
so
games,
long,
obviously
and
he brought Charles step out as well, which is I thought the right decision. I mean, it was a flip of a coin between him and
I don't think it. Well, for Theo.
Bernard's got to play everything.
Bernard was outstanding. He
said it all season.
Football.
But it worked, didn't it?
I thought organised. We looked more organised, didn't we? We looked with Schneiderlin playing and just saying, well, you're gonna have to break us down, rather than being let. I think what Silva did was he was very pragmatic. He was very pragmatic yesterday. He looked at the two sides and thought, well, even if we have an extra attacker in there being Gomez, then there's more chances you're going to score from that than we're going to score from that. So he's very pragmatic, and I was fine with that, because at the end of the day, we were playing the team that were trying to get back top of the league, and
good side.
A good side, very good on the break, and it was all about being a little bit more defensively sure. And also, I mean, listen, I think what we've seen in the last couple of games is Silva react to the criticism, set pieces. Well, Morgan Schneiderlin is, he's a big lad. I know Gomez is as well, but look at someone like Tom Davies. Tom Davies hasn't been in the side the last couple of games. Little decisions like that going, well, let's put an end to the losing soft goal. Because I thought yesterday was very much like the City game. It was very much like the Watford game. Very much like a few games this season, which on paper are just 0-0s. And then for some reason we can give, we can aspire to give a goal away through a set piece or a stupid set piece. And yesterday we just had enough about us not to do that.
Didn't look like it was going to happen. You didn't feel, maybe we were so distracted with all our singing and cheering, but I didn't get the feeling. You get a physical feeling, don't you? They got a couple of free kicks out wide. We still made some of the mistakes that we've made because we're trying to become something. We're still very close to being the side that struggled for months, and we kind of, I didn't feel that nervousness yesterday.
I think you're right. I think you're right with the noise. Right, because I think in the past when it's quiet and then they get a free kick, you hear people going off and all that. There was none of that yesterday, and they defended. I thought we defended most things very well.
I've seen a couple of little noticeable changes. I mean, in the week we talked about Jags organising people, but yesterday I've seen them talking to Pickford when they had set pieces, talking about Walls and what he wanted, and little tweaks like that, people taking responsibility, or someone just saying, the manager saying, well, who's in charge when they get a free kick? And there was one just outside. It was in the first half, one just outside the box, and it wasn't like a within shooting range. Because I don't think many of theirs were. There's only one second half really. That's Arnold took. But it was Keane coming over to Pickford and saying, what do you want? And he went, I want 2 wall.
And he got 2.
And he got 2 in the wall, and we got ourselves set. And he threw it into the back post. And I think it was the one where Virgil van Dijk just headed it into the Gladys Street. And it was just they're the little things that I've noticed in the last couple of games that say to me that people are starting to take responsibility.
And also, big word, responsibility. You're taking responsibility.
Second ball.
Big deal.
Second ball. Twice the ball dropped in the box. We were getting bodies around the ball. Whereas we saw at Millwall, and we saw a lot of other games, people have stood still. There was none of that.
But that to me says there's communication. And Millwall's a really good one example, because not only was it 3 terrible goals, but it was times where people were running into each other's space and not listening to zonal marking, whether you like it or you don't like it. It works on people saying, I've got a job, and if I do my job and don't worry about the fella next to me, then it should all work. It's almost like, you know, you think when you see like a brilliant dance number, like when they're all dancing, and you think, how do they all do it together? Because they're all just doing their own job. They're literally just doing their own job, and if they don't worry about the fella next to them, you know. I mean, it helps that no one has to do that. Like, you know, but
they trust each other.
They trust each other, and that comes from going, what are we doing? We're doing this, right? You all know what you're doing, don't you? And what we've seen with set pieces, people, it's not necessarily the fact that people switch off. It's people thinking, I've got to do someone else's job. They run over to the space, and then they leave a space. We look at the Millwall winner. The fact that 4 of them all congregate together, 4 of them got a tap in, because they're all. And yesterday, I just thought we all look like we know what we're doing now. And that's helpful.
Maybe the 17 days is really just to work on that kind of
thing. But the manager knows. The manager knows of it. It's hard. Listen, if you haven't got a set of players that are natural leaders, you've probably almost got to find the one who's the biggest leader. And if Jags obviously the night, but if Pickford is the biggest leader, then he's got to be the one that says, I want it. And if Keane's the one who has to say to him, what do you want? No, I want this. What do you want? Because you're the man in charge. I want you there because I fancy coming out. Because don't forget, on zonal, there's a bit of massive responsibility on the goalkeeper as well to say, I want you here so I can come and get this.
Exactly.
You know, but if people are making decisions different from what other people want, it makes it very difficult.
But what I noticed about Liverpool, because they play zonal, was that basically Van Dijk takes care of everything. No one else is any. You look at that, if he misses it, they're all over the place. But he's the one who takes responsibility for most stuff. And I think that's been the key change for Liverpool. They've gone and bought him. He's been brilliant for them. But he's also, yesterday I was watching him, and he was bollocking Milner come on and knock the ball out 3 times because he was flapping, and he was like, fucking Rambo, because calm down. And you could he was bollocking Mata because he wouldn't, he's horrendous. But he was trying to organise. He was the only one. Henderson was doing it right up the pitch, but Van Dijk
he's the captain,
was doing it everywhere.
He was having a go at the goal, he was having a go for the beat.
He's a proper captain, though.
He's a proper captain.
But he's a leader.
But he takes responsibility, though. He takes responsibility, and that's what we're saying with Everton. They're all individually good players, but if there's nobody who takes responsibility because they're terrified of their own job.
Do you know what that does, though? Do you know what that does for me? And you can put this into any situation you want in any walk of life. If you've got a calm presence who's telling other people what they should be doing, it makes you relax. The biggest problem you've got in a crisis is everyone panicking. Because if everyone looks at we seen this last week when we were coming on a plane. If everyone's panicking, if the fella next to you is panicking, then you go, shit, there must be a problem, which is what I've actually got a plane. But it's like, but there's a voice going, no, honestly, it's all right.
I was Virgil van Dijking you though. I was going, we're all right. We're all right.
You need to be 6'5", then we sorry.
That's why I'm here.
Big Dutch fella. No, you need that fella to just go, lads, remember, like almost like,
you do this.
Remember your training. Remember your training kicks over.
Exactly.
And if you've
muscle
got that,
memory.
If you've got that one fella who's just like, lads, this is what, remember what we've done. Or it's just that voice, that calmness, and that's what Van Dijk brings to them. He's just like, lads, just settle it down. And because he plays with such a confidence.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was
brilliant. Let's be honest.
He just had Calvert-Lewin like that, bless him. You know,
and you could see how much, you know, he was really, really good.
Yeah.
But you could see that in ours, because how many times you see Keane just almost have a crisis of confidence during games, and then it's like everyone, so imagine being, I mean, as fans you're like, he's supposed to be our centre back, and then the fella next to him must be like, fucking hell. So it's like, if you've got a calm and I think that's what Jags has been for years. He mightn't have been the greatest defender, even though he was a good he is a good defender, but he's always been like a calm presence on the pitch. And again, I think we just missed that. Just that leader who just calms everyone down, who just gets everyone through the game. And you know, I think that helps. That organisation, of course. We can get if you. I think that's what we're saying when you look at our centre backs and you say we're just missing that one fella. Who can just get other people through the game, and by doing that, just because I think Michael Keane, I think he proved this yesterday. He can be a really good defender. I just think he needs someone next to him to just be like,
I think all three of us do. You know, I think all three of us. I think individual, but I can't really say about Mina because we've not seen enough of him, have we? But I think Zuma's the same. I think if you put an organiser next to, or if you put Van Dijk with Keane or Van Dijk with Zuma, or Van Dijk, I don't think there'd be an issue. But
look at Liverpool centre backs this year. They've all gone up a little bit by being next to. No one's saying Lovren or Matip or whoever. They're all looking at them going, these are all really good players. These are, you know, Gomez is they're probably their best other centre back. But I don't think anyone worries, because next to him he makes everyone look. He makes the goalie look better. He makes the full backs look better. He makes everyone look better. And I think that's what we're in need of. But listen, I mean, no, Manes, I'll fucking curse him for the rest of my life. I was watching the game. Literally.
Funes Mori over him.
You bought Funes Mori. I mean, the worst case scenario is that we would have bought him, and we would have sold him by now to Man City. That's the worst case scenario.
Like 60 million.
He'd never have played for them. That's the worst case
Man
scenario.
Man City had him. He'd never lose a game. He probably wouldn't lose a bleeding throw.
Give up, everyone.
But that's the way. But I thought yesterday was like redemption for Jordan Pickford as well after Anfield. You know, Anfield. You know, obviously what happened. But I thought yesterday, he was determined. I thought he took control, responsibility, and he made super.
I thought he was for the first one. I mean, we lose the ball in midfield stupidly.
Ghana.
And then before you know it, he's one on one, and that's the problem when you play Liverpool, because it is the old gegenpressing, isn't it? It is the idea of they wait for you to press them, and then they win the ball back because you've already pushed them. And you could see that yesterday with us. We had men behind the ball, and people were looking for us to go forward. It was that idea, and that's why Snarden was playing. Well, I think more than anything, it's that idea of but if we push men forward there, and look how quick they are
giving the ball away. Though we give that one, Ghana gives the ball away. And the next minute he's in on goal. Salah's racing through one goal, and you're thinking, you know, it's a joint top scorer. He normally just slots them. But I think he cut back inside, and I think that extra touch gave Pickford a chance to set, and then it was a brilliant save. And then you seen the reaction from Keane and Garner straight from it. Come out to Henderson, and a pair of them were at him, which is not what we've done a lot this season. So we were out quickly. And it was that was a pivotal moment in the game, because it got the crowd went up another level. And I think the players then started going, well, he's missed a big chance. So
exactly.
He wasn't on it all game, was he?
No,
he wasn't on it all game.
They weren't, the ball out. They weren't there, and I thought they were pretty conservative. Really, I think they were waiting for us to make mistakes.
I think
they didn't force us.
They looked worried in front of the goal. I mean, I'm not saying this to. They looked nervy in front of the goal. They looked. They had a few opportunities. They never really got a clean because that one wasn't a clean strike. It wasn't a clean strike. There was no finessing it at all. He just sort of bumbled his way into the box, and then just got caught under his feet more than anything. I mean, it was a great. But when I watched it back on the replay, I was like, actually, it was a good save because he stayed big, but he didn't actually have to do much to save it. When you watched it back, it's right there. He doesn't have to throw himself. and we do brilliantly to clear it up. But all day they were a little bit like that. You know,
again the crowd, again
Yeah.
the players,
You know,
again you crank everything up
Every
that
time,
little level.
Yeah.
It makes people start doubting.
Yeah,
But if it's
and it
quiet
just
and
gave-
he's racing
Gave
through,
Keane or it gave Garner that extra little shot of adrenaline. Make the challenge.
Yeah.
Get it. Actually, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Get
but
it out.
the one in the
Move
second
it on,
half
you know.
again, he does it again.
but
Yeah.
again that's us.
Yeah.
We break.
Yeah.
Luca Dean goes steaming on.
Matip
Yeah.
somehow is
He did
allowed to
two
dance
run
through about
into
4
the
of our
yeah.
midfielders because none of them take response.
No,
Because
yeah.
this is, I think we've got we've done this a few times this season, and I hate it. We've talked about it loads. It's anticipating what can happen further down the line, and all it takes there is one midfield to go. No, I'm stopping it here.
Yeah.
Even I'm just going to foul you and stop it.
Yeah.
Because the next minute it bounces, he goes through, it bounces around, it ends up in front of Salah, and again Pickford does quite well just to come out, and then Keane just comes in and nicks it away from him.
Yeah.
And Pickford coming out and almost putting that doubt in his mind.
Yeah.
Go on, you haven't beaten me so far, do it again.
Yeah.
And Keane comes in, but it's higher up the pitch where we've let their centre back, and our players are almost like, oh, we'll let you do that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, no, just fucking hit him.
Do
Just
something.
hit him.
Yeah.
It's a centre back.
Yeah.
But I mean, we had our own. We had something early on, the pressing early on, and Gylfi gets in the box.
Oh,
Could
yeah.
have gone down.
Yeah.
Didn't, stayed on his
Could've
feet.
shot.
And if he could
Yeah.
just find Walcott,
Oh, we were so close.
so close to
You know, we
finding
don't
him.
get the bounce.
You
but
should he have shot? I thought hit it and he didn't. He went past the lad
I think
and he
he
could
should
have
have
gone down.
I would have
Yeah.
shot because
I haven't seen the.
I don't
He saves you.
I don't think it was. I thought to get it to Walcott would have been tough.
I haven't seen it.
I think it was
To be
Van Dijk.
honest.
I think it was Van
Van
Dijk.
Dijk cleaned it up.
And it was like
couldn't have got it to him. I haven't seen it
I
again.
haven't
Just
seen
at
the
the
replay,
time.
no,
to
yeah.
beat Van Dijk, to get it past Van Dijk from
Yeah.
there, I thought would have been very hard.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lovely position for him to just smash. It was on his
Yeah.
left foot, but I thought it was a nice area for him to
Well,
smash
if he
it.
goes across him and Alisson saves it, Walcott's there, isn't he, for the
Yeah.
tapping? And we had a couple of them
Yeah.
where it was just the wrong decision. Walcott gets played in,
Yeah.
and he's got 4 men with him, and he blazes it over the
Yeah.
bar.
I think, yeah,
You
that was
think,
it.
just
That was
throw
a
it
great
across.
ball by
Yeah.
Keane,
It
by the
was,
way.
yeah.
It was a great ball. He got the wrong side of him, and all he had to do was steady himself.
Yeah.
And that's what
If he's a fired it
Okay.
across.
But that's what I was
Yeah.
saying
Free
before.
run, isn't it?
That's one of those where I think this is where this team needs a leader, really needs to calm down. It's because you take Dom's goal from the other night. You ain't shooting near Everton 0-0.
Yeah.
You are not shooting near Everton 0-0.
Take the next touch.
2-0 up, yeah, I'll have a shot because if it goes in, it's 3. If it doesn't really matter. If Walcott at Arsenal was the king of those.
Yeah,
he was.
3-0 up.
Yeah.
Put the
Motor
foot,
on, bang,
whatever,
yeah.
or we'll get
Yeah.
loads more chances.
Yeah.
But at Everton, he's feeling
Yeah.
the Evertonness of it all. He knows
Yeah.
that every chance is a big chance because
Yeah.
you don't know when you're going to get
Yeah,
your next
we
one.
don't get a
So
lot,
he's not
yeah.
taking any care of it, and that,
Yeah.
I think that's Walcott's biggest problem. He doesn't take enough care of the ball. And there yesterday, if he just has a little bit of composure, looks up, just slides one across the box, he's got 3 coming onto it, and he's done his job. But
And
the
they're
minute
facing their own goal.
Yeah,
the minute he, and that's what Richarlison does really well second half for that one, which we'll talk about later. But Walcott, there's too many of our players who are like that.
Yeah.
They're just snatching at everything because there's no confidence in the side, and you've seen that when we were 2-0 up the other night. 2-0 up, it was bang, bang, bang. It was it was lovely to
Back
watch.
away,
Shuffle,
It was
off,
great
yeah.
to watch because you know we're 2-0 up. There's cigar time, and that's the difference between good teams and teams like us, or you know.
Yeah.
Teams who are on a roll like Wolves when they're up, when
Yeah.
they've been on a roll,
Yeah.
it looks brilliant to
Yeah.
watch because it's all confidence.
Yeah. You've got to be able to do it from 0-0.
Yeah.
You know, stamp your authority on the game. And again, with the level of belief and confidence or lack of in our squad, that's where we as the crowd have to come in. We have to, at least, like you were saying, generate that rumble, if not the full-on singing and chat, just that rather than the quiet and then the nerves.
But
And that,
you know what, though?
that invite that extra pressure.
I thought we come out second half and I thought we took control.
Yeah.
I thought we had more control of it second
I
half.
think we got confidence.
They
from the
started.
first half.
They made I think first half we hit too many long balls
Yeah.
to Van Dijk there,
Yeah.
but I think second half we started putting them under more pressure, and they made a conscious decision to just play on the counter attack, and we had
They
more
were
of the
happy with
ball.
the draw.
And the chances started coming.
They were happy with the draw.
The chances started
The way
coming.
they
didn't they?
played.
You know, we had the Dominic Calvert-Lewin header off a corner,
Yeah.
which I thought was in from my
Yeah.
seat. It hit the floor,
Yeah.
and I could see it rising to
Yeah.
that top corner. And then
Probably I
Yeah.
blame the wind for that.
Yeah,
it was windy.
It was. I could see, because I'm just behind the goal, and you just see the grass just a bit too long.
The grass was a little bit too long.
They've missed cutting a bit.
Where was the shadow when that ball bounced? I wonder where the shadow was.
Was right on the line. That's why. Another inch before he caught it, the shadow might have been over it. But we had that. We had the one that you were talking about with Richarlison.
We just started looking after the ball better second half. First half it was like a hot potato, because as I was saying before, the big problem when you play Liverpool is that you know that they're so good on the counter-attack, so you don't want to throw too many players forward. And because we had so many players in a small space, small area, you know, with Sneijder and Garner and Sigurdsson on top of each other, and then you've got the winger, and you're trying to find passes right on top of each other. We're trying to do it at a pace as well, and we just weren't throwing enough. And I thought second half, you know, certainly when Theo Walcott went off, and Richarlison came on the right, that was much more effective. Seamus started going forward a little bit.
Better wide,
by the way, Coleman.
Bernard on the other side just lacked that final ball, but he was willing to take him on, because you could see he had the nerves. You know, actually Arnold, he had
Alexander call him Arnold.
He obviously had the pace on him, but he looked nervous. Like what I mean by that, because there'll be Reds watching probably. He didn't look nervous as such. He just knew he had to be absolutely sure. Do you know what I mean? Because Bernard is so so he was making sure. So he was letting him come, and then it was like, I'll do it last minute. He didn't want to jump in, and that allowed Bernard to just creep up the pitch a little bit, and then maybe just check back and give a pass. So I thought on both sides we've done a lot better, and that helped spread the play, and that helped spread our plays out a little bit more, give us a little bit more room to play. Whereas I say first half, I just thought we were on top of each other, and that caused a few mistakes, because they are so fast on the break.
The manager got all of his subs spot on as well. You know, being critical of his substitutions, I thought he was spot on. But Richarlison come on the right and made a big difference to us. More powerful,
higher up the pitch.
They were worried about him then as well, because he got in behind him a couple of times.
Give a little bit more space.
The one that he fires across the box.
It is. I mean, he had Gylfi, and it's almost in the Gylfi area. But problem with Gylfi is he would have had to take a touch, because he couldn't have hit it first time, because he was facing like that way. So I mean, he did have plenty of time to take a touch. But I can understand why he fired it across, because I think they were looking almost like they were looking, and that, as I said on me post match, it's if Bernard's got size 5 feet instead of 5'4", size 4, but also it only needs to take a touch off, or for all Richarlison knows, we've got someone steaming in at the back post who's got to tap in there.
You've got to do it. Those are the kind of balls
I've got no problem with them doing that at all. I'd rather he'd done that than you know, I thought Richarlison made a big difference when he came on. He had the right mental attitude.
He only went down once, and it was a foul.
It was a foul.
He went down literally with his face touch.
Oh, he did, but he got shot. Oh, that one.
We got through a lot of it.
But he wasn't mucking about. He came on and did a good job. He came on
to do a job, and he'd obviously, the manager had told him, you know, get out there and do it, and he did. And listen, we rode our luck at times in the second half, which you're always going to have to do against a decent team. You know, we mentioned the Keane one,
but they rode their luck, mate. We had two where Bernard come in for a header, and it just skimmed off his head. It almost fell to Luca B. They had the corner bobbled around their box. They were kicking it anywhere. They had you know, moments
the free
like
kick at the end. If he hadn't taken Dean out when Dean came steaming, got the free kick, which was an awful free kick, unfortunately. But you know, it was well outside, but. You know, if he skips past him there and cuts it out,
why didn't Sigurdsson just aim
an Arteta free kick?
When we got it, I looked at him and thought, that's a terrible angle. Like, just that, you might just have a shot.
Just a shot.
And you know what I hate as well, though? I don't like to be critical of our own players, but Zuma goes down in the box, and he's literally only being touched. If he's on the floor,
I know he went down. I'm
just thinking, just stay up. Take your chances.
He's a monster.
I know. Take your chances, because you ain't getting a penalty on this fella against these. Not a chance. So just stay up and take your responsibility.
For me, Sigurdsson's right foot aim for that far top corner, whip it in, and if it gets a flick, you don't know where it goes.
Again, take responsibility. What was the right decision there? You know, Gylfi he's captain.
That's the other thing, though, isn't it?
Get in there and say, no, look, you get on the edge of the box. If it comes out to you, you've got your left foot, bang it. This is for me.
That's the other thing, though, isn't it?
Arteta free kick, you know, bang it in.
It's that confidence, isn't it? Because we've seen that with a couple of times. Just Bernard, you know, goalie kicks it, takes it amazing touch, kills everyone. But you can see that he's just waiting for the optimum moment, and Van Dijk just stops it before he can bend it round. And brilliant defending. But it's those little moments. It's those little moments in games where bit more confidence. He's firing it across the defender, you know, like giving the goal in the eyes. Everyone thinks he's going to bend it, but you got confidence. You're back past the other way, and it's those little things that we are just taking care of. Whereas you see other teams, they have a shot there, they hit someone on the legs and spins in, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
When you're confident, you hit it early. You don't let
just keep doing it. They've just got to keep going and keep doing it and build this belief. And these little things. I mean, obviously, the most important thing to fix has been at the back. You know,
in the short term, definitely.
So don't get hammered every game or.
Well, like you said before, though, it's not about being hammered. No one's hammered us apart from Spurs. The difference in all the games recently, you know, think about it, like since Christmas, you know, we go to Brighton and we lose 1-0 to a stupid bobble off a corner that it's Gomez on the legs and goes in. New Year's Day, Leicester, a mistake by Michael Keane inside our own half leads to Vardy getting clean 1-on-1. You know, Southampton, stupid defending. Man City for the first goal, set piece. Wolves, set piece. You know, Watford last couple of weeks ago, stupid moment in the game, which have been changing the games because we haven't got the confidence to get back into those games, and that's so. I understand why Silver has said, right, we're bringing Schneiderlin back. We're going back to basics. We're defending set pieces because they've been letting us down, and we'll see what happens. And I've got no problem with that because no one hand on heart can say, well, I deserve to be in this team. Gomez doesn't deserve to be in this team as more than anyone else. Tom Davies, whoever's out the team at the moment, fight your way back in the side.
The likes of Seamus Coleman, you know, he was deservedly dropped 100%. He was shocking. But he's got back in. He was good at Cardiff the other night, and he was brilliant.
Schneiderlin played well yesterday. First half,
he's disciplined.
Covered every blade, and he did his job. I think he tired.
He covered every blade.
Second half.
He covered every blade within his little circle because that's all he's asked to do. He's not asked to do anything else.
He got tired second half.
Of course he did.
The game
and he gave the ball away a couple
of times, and he started giving the ball away.
But his
manager changed him up then.
But he did a good job of them.
Gomez come on and done well, and you know that one where Van Dijk tried to knock him over and he just bounced off him and kept possession into the box.
You know,
it was brilliant, and that's what you have to see. They all made a contribution. You know, Tosin. If he takes a touch instead of trying to volley one off the free kick, he's in on goal. You know, if he'd just killed it, he was in.
It was a big chance.
It was one of those where you went, oh.
You looked at it and went, he was on his own.
I was almost waiting for the referee to pull it back or something. Nobody moved. I mean,
he was in on his own. Centre forward getting a clean strike of the ball inside the box.
If he'd just struck with his left foot, he was in on goal. And then you'd back him against Alisson, you'd back him because he's a finisher, but he just went. One of them moments.
But he's clutching at it, you know. How many shots has he had in the last 6 months?
I think again, though, that he'll say to one. I mean, if we're talking about going forward, we're not talking about. Listen, we've talked about defence and everything else, but I mean, to win those games, it's the final third, isn't it? Really, to win these kind of games, to beat these teams and deservedly beat these teams, it is in the final third. You know. I think Lukaku showed on Saturday exactly what we're missing and why we sold them for as much as we did and why replacing them will always be the ultimate problem because you know we've got a lad up front who is just a kid and he showed he was just a kid on Saturday. His hardest done work and I understood the tactics. You know, every time a ball came up he was getting a push in on him first to unsettle him and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But
a couple of good touches.
It's more to do with it's more to do with what Dom doesn't know than what he does know. Obviously, it's the movements. It's knowing where to be. It's knowing where to run over the top. It's knowing how to unsettle them, and that's exactly what we are missing as a football club at the moment. It's for games like that. You might get one chance, like we've just talked about with Tosin, but in other games, you might get 3 or 4 chances, and if you've got a good striker, he'll take 2 of the 3 chances and change the game. I think if again, confidence. If we had a decent striker, who you can say, and what if someone a striker here, not a Richarlison or
if we had
a proper striker.
It's all like
Romelu Lukaku in this side.
Koeman's first season, we won all of those games.
Yeah.
We won all of those games we should have won.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
It's fine sitting here saying, well, what you want, you've got Richarlison. Richarlison is not a centre forward. No. He's not a striker. He'll score your goals doing his thing, and his thing actually comes from come more from having a centre forward, from having him sneaking around the back.
He would, because their centre backs would be worried about
preoccupied.
You're this other forward, and he'd have the freedom to come in. And actually, him on the right and Bernard on the left with a Romelu Lukaku through the middle would actually be quality, and then Gylfi would come into his own a bit more as well, having a sense of, I'm not backing Dom out, because Dom done alright, and he's not ready yet.
No,
Dom might have this in 2 years with a bit, but he needs a top class centre forward to look at and go, like, that's what I need to do, and that's the runs I have to make. No, because Dom, the problem Dom has is everything's played. He plays everything with his back to goal. Everything. And what we need is someone. If Van Dijk's got an issue, it's with people who run in behind him. And we saw that last year before Liverpool bought him, when he went to Anfield with Southampton. They had Salah and Mane running off. We didn't know what day it was. They beat Liverpool beat them 3-0. And 2 of the goals, it was his fault, because he just had the player go bing in behind him. Where if you play in front of Van Dijk, he can play with flip-flops.
Exactly, no, he just had,
it's that easy.
Cameroon, you stand there while I do my job, the whole game.
You've got to cause him a problem. You've got to be able to run in behind, and Dom hasn't quite got that.
But it's the other side of it, though, isn't it?
But it's link play as well.
But it's not just that, though. For me, it's the mental aspect of it. It's like Dom. If you're going up against Van Dijk, Van Dijk's going to be looking at him going, I know you're not against me. Whereas when it is a top class striker, then whoever who scored a few goals, and that worry's already planted. And you've got other people, you're dragging other people in because you're worried. It alters the way you play, whereas that didn't happen yesterday, and it doesn't happen to us. We are, listen, confidence-wise, you got a player up front that can at least hit the target, because that's the main thing, hit the targets, because we don't do that very often. We don't hit the target enough. You've got a player that can create chances and get the ball on target, because for all what Richarlison does and all the goals he scores, how many times in a game can you actually say, well, he gets the ball, beats someone, and has a shot on goal? It doesn't happen very often. He's not that kind of player. His goals are opportunist more than anything else. I think that's the biggest task, because I think you can teach everything else we're looking for in the short term. You can teach defenders how to defend if there's a general framework. But teaching someone to score goals, that's the hardest thing.
If you look at that side, and this is why I was banging on about getting behind Marco Silva the other week, is that you've got our best players are everyone he's brought in, essentially, and then Jordan Pickford and Gylfi. Other than that, people are up and down. So you've got to give them longer to be able to bring more quality in to help them. We've seen a manager that trusts 14 players probably, and then people like Ademola Lookman isn't even in the 18 now.
But that was his biggest mistake.
No, it was over Christmas, and he has he's made mistakes.
I'm fine with him at the moment, because I think he has listened or reacted. Whatever anyone thinks,
we need quality.
But someone like in the short term, bringing someone like Morgan Snyder back into the side is reacting to the problems we had, and that's all you can do. And that's all I was saying when we were having problems with with zonal marking. I'm not saying we're completely in the clear of it, but
it's helped.
Bringing someone like him back into the side who clearly understands that. That's addressing the problem.
Well, if you'd have played him at like Brighton against Leicester, we might have won.
And that's what I'm saying.
He's experienced, isn't he?
Sometimes it's horses for courses.
Not brilliant, but he's experienced.
It's horses for courses. Sometimes you've got to look at it and go, well, he made it. Tom Davis played 3 or 4 really good games and then got bombed out, and he's probably looked at it and gone, well, I like the kid, but physically he's not what we need for the next few games. We need someone in there who's a big, who's another big lad in the back. And that's what you've got to do sometimes. It's not a long-term strategy, but football is a lot of short-term stuff most of the time.
Especially when you're struggling.
It takes a couple of players to turn it, though. Liverpool bought Van Dijk in the January and Alisson in the summer, and all of a sudden they could win the league. And I know lads in December of last year for Van Dijk come saying Klopp isn't the right man because we've had a defensive problem for 3 years and he hasn't fixed it. And then Van Dijk comes in and now you look at them and go, oh my God, they're sound at the back. And that's what it's what Klopp's done really well at Liverpool is he's improved them year after year by just being able to improve the as you turn. It's like a cog turn. You have to try, and that's what we've got to do with that. We've got to get to the summer and go, we need a centre forward. I've seen someone on the comments going, we don't need a forward, leave Dom. And you're like, no, we need a centre forward. We need two. We need two really, and we need Dom. You know, Jen Tosin, I wanted him to work, and he tries his best. Not the right answer. I think Theo, unless he goes some in the last half a dozen games, I'm not sure whether he's longer term. So in the summer, we've got to bring that bit of quality into our squad, and if we do, we'll move up again.
Exactly.
It's as simple as
I was listening to Ronnie on the way home on the phone, and he was saying 2 centre forwards, and you know, Craig Hignett was on as well, and you know, he was talking about, you know, it's really hard to get centre forwards because obviously not in Europe. Everyone wants them. The top ones are going to go to the top clubs, and everyone else is going to be at a premium because everyone else knows. But I think what we certainly, if we're looking for a centre forward, we need to work from the basic of you've got to have pace. You know what I mean? Because I think the problem with Cenk Tosin is he could score goals. He could score goals in the Champions League, score goals in Turkey, but he just hasn't got the pace for the Premier League. And that's the bottom thing you've got to work with. And I think that's what we've got to be looking for, because if we buy another slow centre forward, it's not going to get us anywhere.
I think we need who'll go. He's our number 9. Say, we'll play.
It'd be great to have an actual number 9 as well.
You know, he's our number 9, and then you need a centre, and then you need a backup one who can probably play wide as well. But it can also do that. So if you're not playing, Ed can come in and go, well, he's sound because he's a good player as well through the middle, and then Dom to learn off them. Maybe shift Cenk out. You know, you'd have to have, that's for me is what we're crying out for. And then if we get that, I think the team goes up another level because you know what your base from. Whereas if you're looking now, Dom's probably got to be our number 9 until the end of the season, hasn't he? Or Cenk comes in and you go,
you know, well, it's just not. It's not a fixed. It's not a fixed position, is it? And you know, he might as well. In these last few games, he might as well have one of these young lads on the bench and give him a run. Why not just see? Dom,
if nothing else, has got pace and he's a bit of a batter now. And he can.
And he's willing. He's an athlete. Goals,
you know, and he normally most games. Talking to someone yesterday, normally most games he'll win everything in the air. Yesterday against that beast,
or at least he'll fight for everything in the air.
And he gave up in the end. And I don't blame him, but Van Dijk literally did just have him on a string, didn't he?
But he's top quality, you know. You don't come up against that every week.
It's an experience for him, isn't it? And that's we've got you know, what you were saying before. Basically, you have to, when it comes to a stage like we did this season, you have to make the best of what you've got. You have to play the right players in the right positions.
Well, the whole Schneiderlin thing, Jay, is that what it's done is it'll get you some results, which buys the manager time. People were losing their heads because we weren't playing well. And you know, Seamus Coleman come out again yesterday and just said fans have got to stop putting it just at the manager's door. It's us as players, and we get away with murder, and it's wrong because managers keep getting sacked because. So that's fine saying it. So the players do have that responsibility. So what Silva's got to do, and I think what he's done, is he's getting some results to buy himself time, so we can all get to the summer and go right. What do we need now? We've seen some of the good stuff. We've had a terrible period in the middle. If we now finish on a little bit of an upward curve, people start getting a bit more excited for next season, and you go, right, summer's coming. Can we get A, B and C? Can we ship a dozen of these players out and bring these 4 or 5 in, which then goes boom, you go up again? Because let's be honest and be frank about it, after the top 6, everyone else is much of a muchness. And I still look at the likes of Chelsea and think, he ain't great. And Arsenal aren't great. They played well at the weekend against Spurs, but they're not great. We're not miles behind them. But what they have is those players in the final third, particularly Arsenal, 2 strikers who can put the ball in the back of the net.
They've got class, haven't they?
And they've got that class.
They've got class, haven't they? So that's the difference. They've got class. We haven't got class up front. We just haven't.
And we have to try and resolve that, whichever way.
It's going to take, you know, I hate all the language really in modern football. It's going to take a few windows. You know, we can't keep chopping and changing the manager. What's the point? you know, you've got to give this guy a few years, really. There's no point having him there. Same thing with the team, has got to evolve. And if you look at like so where Liverpool came from when they brought Klopp in, and you know, and people say, well, he's been there this long and he hasn't won anything. Well, yeah, but as you say, he's slotting the pieces in there, and they're a good team. You look at where we've come from, you know, the mess that Martinez era ended up in, and the fact, I mean, much I love Jags and Baines, they're still here, however much 6 years after most, bless them, but we're coming from a lower level. And you can't buy a team.
To be fair though, they're not even the problem.
They aren't the problem.
The Bolasis of the world, and
the
Martinez and the Ashley Williams.
Yeah, exactly. Where we bought whole teams of players, you can't do that. You have to build a team over time, and I hope the likes of Davis and Calvert-Lewin long term can be good players for us. You know, but that's going to take time. We've got to build a team and a squad that we can that trust each other, know the football they're being told to play. And we as a crowd trust them, and that relationship, just got to keep it going.
Summer's going to be huge, and you know what? It could just be two players.
Yeah,
it could be two players. It could just be.
I'd rather be massive difference.
A centre forward who knows how to put the ball back at the net or hit the target at least.
Yeah, it's got a bit of pace, like
either a centre midfielder or a centre back who's a true leader. Who'll grab everyone else and organise, and it could just be those two players. Because I don't think we're going to have a mad summer. I think I think they're going to be looking for quality.
Yeah.
Especially if they just can't get those players out the door.
Yeah. I
think it's going to be quality.
Yeah.
And that's what we should all be looking for or aspiring for, because it's great sitting here. It's great sitting here every year going, we're buying this player, we're buying that player, we're buying that player.
It doesn't work.
But it doesn't. It's proved it's not us.
No.
It's not us.
No, it wasn't Spurs as you know. They're the other example, aren't they? It takes time. You can't make those wholesale changes. You know, which is either changing the manager, who then will make wholesale changes because they're not his players and all of that. We've just got to make the right decisions. Stop. We have to learn from our mistakes. And like at the beginning of this, I said about, you know, this season being a write-off. Well, it doesn't actually have to be. We could have a great last few games. Go into the summer thinking, hang on, you know.
I think what we've got to do now is win the games we should win.
Yeah.
You know, your Newcastle, Burnley, Fulham, Crystal Palace, West Ham. They're the games we should be trying to win, and hopefully get one of those, get a win out of Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, and be like, we did beat one of the big boys. We did have a good day, and hopefully that's what happens, and we finish, you know, around 50 points. I mean, that'd be brilliant. You know what I mean? 4 more wins at least would be fantastic. I don't know if it's achievable, but
just aim for it.
That's it.
Use it. Build the team. You know,
if we play like we did yesterday and have a little bit of quality in the final third, take a bit of care, we can win the majority of our games, I think.
Well, that's what you have to aim for.
That's what it's about. Can we do it?
I was in the barbers this morning, and girls doing my hair, and there was a fella having his hair cut by the guy who owns the shop next to me, and they're both Reds, and they were talking, and you know, well, it's the 2 points behind now, you know. I mean, you know, City could draw, and then, you know, if we win all of our 9 games, so that's, you know, assuming you're going to now go on a 9-game winning run. Well, great, good, you know, all the best. But you have to aspire to. Is that whole thing? You have to just. Leicester won the league they tried every week to win, and they won the league, right? And now that you know, it doesn't always work like that. Not everyone can win the league every season, but surely that has to be the bottom line, and just foster that team spirit. Like I say, maybe there are a couple of these young lads who can come in and have a couple of cameos as sub, you know, like back in the days where we dropped Jeffers or someone in when he was 16 or 17. Why not? And just have some stuff to look forward to, and you know, just enjoy it together. Why not? The weather's going to start getting brighter. Let's come on.
Yeah, you're making me feel great about life.
Positive.
You should do sermons.
Yes.
There you go. Anyway. Big thanks for Jamie's coming in, brightening our day.
There we go.
On the if you've got any suggestions for the fans forum, get in touch with Jamie as well.
Please do.
He'll probably politely and wonderfully tell you piss off, but you know, he'll do it. He'll do it in a way that you'll feel great about yourself.
I will.
Do it.
DMs are always open.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and remember, lads, girls and boys, doesn't matter how bad life is or life gets. We'll never be as big a knobheads as the Anfield Rap. Do Just remember that. See you later.